we are doing extremely well because we are offering a high-value product at a price that students can actually afford. But within colleges or in Hunter, in the city, and in this nation, we are also suffering from a severe problem in retention. So nationally, only 57% of students finish college in 6 years. Many of us, again, are used to the private institutions. At Columbia, bless them, it's 98% of students will finish in 4 years. But as a national issue, we are talking about less than 60% graduating in 6 years. And at Hunter, we look at a 6-year graduation rate because almost all of our students are working, they're on financial aid, they're not taking a full course load. So we have to keep them focused and keep them moved through the system and not distracted and focused on their studies to help them graduate. And we're very proud of the work we're doing. We're extremely excited about the quality of the student choosing public higher education now, given the economic choice and given the quality that we're offering. But as a nation, we really, and that again comes back to the first question about race to the top, this focus on improving K through 12 education is a critical and must be on the national agenda, because the truth is the work we're doing is we're not preparing the average student to do college level work, and that's a crisis.
Thank you. In the interest of time, we will reserve the question about Manhattan Science High School. We'll refer to it when we speak to Ann Tisch. So, Dr. Rosen, last year the staff of Education Upstate launched the middle school journalism initiative with students from 2 inner city public schools, the Young Women's Leadership School in Harlem, founded by Ann Tisch, and Public School 169, a school for special needs children on the Upper East Side. It's been an enhancement of the lives of these students. And 14 years ago, you yourself, Dr. Rosen, founded Education Update, an award-winning newspaper without any work experience in the field of journalism. You're in 1,600 public schools, 150 private schools in New York and New Jersey. You see it in every street corner newspaper box. It's just amazing. And it's been a life-enhancing experience for you, too. Please share with us your goals in developing the Middle School Journalism Initiative. How has this unique opportunity enhanced the lives of your young students, and is it something you hope to bring to additional New York City schools?
It's one of my favorite topics. I thought you'd never ask. I am very, very passionate. As Jennifer pointed out, the abysmal rate of graduation from high schools. What can we do about it? And that thought has occurred to me as a leitmotif throughout the year. And the black hole of education is middle schools. It is too late by the time they get to high school. We've got to get the kids when they're younger. So I thought about starting a newspaper for kids who are in 6th and 7th grade on middle schools and giving them opportunities to interview, to write, to edit, to do journalism, to get out there and explore the excitement. But it really is a literacy and projects-oriented project. And I chose 2 schools. The kids were very enthusiastic. I limited it to 10 children because I knew that we'd be going on many field trips. And lo and behold, my dream came true. The children were so excited and so motivated. The children, certainly in the Young Women's Leadership School, are articulate, intelligent, they're bright. They responded, and I knew that they would. The other group of children, who are abused kids, who have been kicked out of every public school in New York City. This is a school of last resort, PS 169. When I first walked in, and all those classrooms were locked, you couldn't even get into them because there is such violence within the school. When I came in, the kids looked at me and said, "Who asked you to be here? Get out." That was my reception, just the opposite of the Young Women's Leadership School. And I gradually won their respect and their friendship and their love by the end of the year. We had an exclusive press conference with Chancellor Klein. We went to the Animal Medical Center, 6 floors, and they dressed in scrubs, and you got to see an operation on an animal. We went to a publishing company, Sadlier Publishing, by some strange coincidence, and they got to see the inner workings of the trajectory of a book, how it goes from your publishing company to your desk. We also went to McGraw-Hill. We saw how they do their publishing work there. And so all of these experiences combined to make these kids feel important, and it made them feel, I can be a writer, I can be a reporter. One of them said, I feel famous as if I'm writing for the New York Times or New York One News. And at the end, and I just wanted to give you the visual, because we produced a real newspaper by the end of the year. These are the Young Women's Leadership School students. These are the Kennedy kids. They named their newspaper. They had a staff. They wrote about every single field trip. They learned all of the elements of writing, editing, reading, critical thinking, and this was a marvelous project, and we're going to be continuing it next year, and we're going to be expanding this. I would love to see many, many schools have this kind of a project, because what they learned along the way, it has infused them with an enthusiasm for learning that they will then transmit on to the next group of students and to the next grade that they go to and on to high school. This is where the SAT words and the preparation for SAT, all of this foundation has been absolutely fabulous. And so anytime you want me to talk about this, I will.
It is a great program.
Fabulous.
Fabulous.
And that ties into the philosophy of the Windward School, which is the school that Dr. Russell heads, which is that every student can succeed academically. The Windward School is an independent coeducational day school in White Plains that focuses on children in grades 1 through 9 with language-based learning disabilities. And you empower your students with what you call language competency. And so my question is, it's been said that early intervention and the implementation of what is called universal design for learning, curriculum and assessment for learning disabled students would enhance student achievement. So Dr. Russell, could you please explain how universal design for learning would affect teaching strategies and enhance student access, and do you think it would improve student achievement overall?
I'll answer the second question first. Yes. I don't think that this is not mysterious. What's curious to me is how much research we have had for so long that hasn't been implemented. One of the largest educational studies ever done was Project Follow Through. It was done in the 70s. 100,000 students were in it, hundreds of school districts, and they looked at 22 different educational methodology over the course of 5 years. It's a seminal work, and what they discovered was that direct instruction, which is at the heart of the universal design, direct instruction is the most effective way of teaching students with learning disabilities, but also students, period. So we've known this for over 30 years, and our school has incorporated and uses the principles of universal design consistently in every class, every grade level, every subject, every teacher. And what happens is we get, our students come, in order to get into Windward, we jokingly say we're the only independent school where you have to fail the entrance exam to get in, and then when you start doing really well, we send you back out into the mainstream. Students stay with us about 3 to 5 years, and they return to the mainstream. In order to get in, they have to be doing poorly in whatever school they come from. And 50% of our kids come from independent schools, 50% from public schools. When they leave, over 98, in fact this year it was 98% of our kids were in the average to above average range in reading. Now, if we can do it, everybody can do it. And the fact of the matter is, the most common comment I get from parents is, oh, this was a miracle. What you did is a miracle. I said, no, it isn't. It's not a miracle. Because if it's a miracle, only we can do it. And I know everybody can do it. It's science. We've taken research and we've applied it systematically throughout the school. We pay very close attention to how we teach, and we get those kinds of results. So I think that the universal design approach is the right one. It really forces the teachers to focus on research-based strategies that we know work. It's almost as if one place had penicillin, but everybody knew about penicillin 30 years ago, but only one place was dispensing penicillin, and people were dying unnecessarily. We know that failure to read and failure to graduate from high school there's research, tons of it, directly correlated with every single major problem with our youth today, from teenage pregnancy to crime, to drug and alcohol abuse, and to prison. And direct correlates, we know that. You don't graduate from high school, your chances of owning a home are reduced. Chance of having a job, reduced. Why are we holding the penicillin in a very secret place and not distributing it is beyond me. But, so I think that everybody should be using that universal design program, and they should be using research-based strategies, and they'll get the same results that we get.